the last week or so, there has been a lot of disturbing information coming out about Britney Spears. Because as you know, Kevin Federline is releasing a book. And after 20 years of being silent and actually raising their kids, unlike Britney, Kevin Federline is finally speaking out. And I am glad that he is doing so. Because Britney has had the stage for like 3 or 4 years now. She's had the opportunity to air out all of her grievances. Day in and day out, she attacks her family, her friends, other random people she doesn't know. She's constantly attacking people and dishing out dirt. So I think it's time that someone dished out some dirt on her. Now, these allegations that Kevin Federline these allegations are horrendous. And I've noticed something. Britney has accused Kevin Federline of being a liar. But for the most part, she's freaking out because she believes that Kevin Federline is going to sell more books than her. And she has said this directly. Now, I don't think Kevin Federline is going to sell more books than her. But my question is this. With all of these disturbing allegations coming out, don't you think it would be better for her to directly address these allegations instead of freaking out that your ex-husband may sell more books than you? I mean, K-Fed has come out and said that Britney was forcing her kids to shower with her at like the age of 11. One of the kids almost died from getting into her pills. She used to punch them in the face, send them home with chemical burns, to the point that K-Fed had to shave their head off, and they had all of these chemical burn spots all over their scalp. We've heard all of these disturbing allegations, and if I was Britney, I would directly, confront these allegations. I would directly deny them if they're not true, right? Like if someone's like, hey, you take showers with your grown kids. Are you going to be like, oh my God, I hope you don't sell more books than me? Or are you going to deny taking showers with your kids? Britney's not denying any of these claims because she knows they're true. Instead of denying these claims, Britney is doing what she always does. She is once again playing the victim. She could never let anything be about anyone else. I mean, finally, all of this info that the kids have been withholding for years as Britney's fan base attacked them and threatened them, I think her kids probably feel good that some of this information is out. Because they've been painted as villains because they don't want to be around their mother. But they don't want to be around their mother because they're scared to death of her. She's psychotic. She watches them sleep with a knife in her hand. She forces them to take baths with her. Forcing one kid to wear diapers years after he was potty trained and didn't need to wear diapers anymore. These kids were freaking scared to death of Britney. They're not the victims, and I'm glad that their story is finally, or they are the victims, and I'm glad that their story is finally being told. But like I said, Britney's not directly denying any of these allegations. She's playing victim, and she's like, hey everyone, remember my book? Remember the stuff I wrote about in my book? And oh, by the way, I'm brain damaged. So that's where we're at. She doesn't deny forcing her 11-year-old kids to bathe with her, but she does say, hey y'all, I'm brain damaged. You remember what I wrote about in my book? You know? That's basically her response, folks. And it's crazy to see, because I was hoping that maybe she could prove that this isn't true, but no, it's just, hey guys, what about my book? Remember that one time I released a book? And oh guys, I'm brain damaged. Don't blame me for anything. It's so sickening, but I have this post. She's been posting nonstop word salads. It's going to be hard to keep up with, but we're going to try. Now, before I get into this post, because I may have a seizure reading this, okay? I need your help. I need your support. I need you guys to keep me sane while covering this crazy woman that I've been covering for years. Please hit that like button. Please drop a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to take your support one step further, you could always donate via Cash App or Super Thanks. I'm telling you, it's much needed when I have to constantly look into the madness that is Britney Spears. When you dive too deep into this stuff, sometimes you get lost in the sauce and you start doing Britney dances and spinning around your living room. You guys don't want that to happen to me, okay, right? But all jokes aside, let's go ahead and dive in. My back, my blades, my wings. Remember the movie Maleficent? Such an incredible movie. Remember the king tried to kill her, but instead a guy secretly took her wings? But anything from the Father in heaven, the real Father, who is the one I only claim who loves unconditionally. Anything holy is never forgotten. Her wings were holy. So the king could not take them. Not one person could say they were restored and hidden locked in a secret holy stained glass church. Not that this has any relevance with me, but I do find it incredibly interesting. I too had a traumatic experience, as some of you know, at the end of my book, where 4 months I no longer had my private door and illegally was forced to not use my feet or body to go anywhere. For a person like me, who understands the sacredness is God's speed, it did more than hurt my body. Trust me, there's a lot I didn't share in my book, and still things at the very moment I've kept hidden because it's incredibly painful and sad. I do feel the logic and mindfulness in my body as one was 100% murdered and destroyed. I couldn't dance or move for 5 months. Anyways, I know my post and dancing seemed silly, but it made me remember how to fly. I used to swim with my babies on my back till they were 4 and 5. I was incredibly strong. At the end of the movie, she goes to a church and somehow finds her wings. Protector of the Moors, considered a villain but actually one with Mother Nature. Animals would bow to her. She was brilliant in that movie. I do feel like my wings were taken away and brain damage happened to me a long time ago, 100%, guy. Oh, and by the way, brain damage did happen to me 100% a long time ago. I have, of course, moved on from that troubling time in my life, and I'm blessed to be alive. I'm showing my back, one makeup artist said. Don't you think it's too big? People are incredibly cruel. Still to this day, I haven't flown like I used to. Do you think if I go to the Vatican, I may find something quite interesting there? It's fun to tell stories at this point, because this all might sound so silly, but with what garbage literally is being said about me, I said, why not bring substance to the table? Britney, I hate to break it to you, but you brought nothing of substance to the table. You start off your word salad talking about Maleficent, and then somehow, some way, it forms or turns into you talking about my book. Remember in my book? There's so many things I didn't put in my book. By the way, guys, I have brain damage. Wouldn't it be great if I fly to the Vatican? Wait, my wings are snipped. Oh, but look, my parents did this to me. And guess what? Maleficent is so great. And then this, what are you even fucking talking about? What is she even talking about? Nobody knows. But folks, I've had to read these word salads for 3 or 4 years now. And I try to make sense of them for people, but they don't make sense. The only reason why half of these people know what the fuck Britney's talking about is because they watch my videos and I have to decipher what she's talking about for them. It's so insane. It's so insane. I am so sick and tired of sitting here watching as people pretend this is normal. It's been going on for years. Nothing about that post we just read is normal. Nothing about that post we just read is coherent. You read that and you know these are the ramblings of someone that is going through a manic episode. These are the ramblings of someone that is clinically insane. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Remember the movie Maleficent, and then they clipped her wings in my book, and I got brain damage, and then my babies used to swim on my back, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Can you kind of stick to one subject? If you want to talk about Maleficent, talk about Maleficent. But she has to throw it in there. I 100% had brain damage. Yeah, it looks like it. I hope that's all it is. I hope that's how we can explain your weird behavior. Because maybe that would be better than the other explanations, right? But, I knew it was going to be like this. Trust me, folks, the meltdown that Britney is having, it's not about the allegations. The allegations are true, okay? And if you think the allegations aren't true, look at her Instagram. How can anyone look at Britney's behavior over the past few years and think that she's not capable of doing everything we've heard that she did? I 100% believe it. I believe it more than I believe anything in the world, that she's guilty of all of these things. And like I said, she's not going to directly confront these allegations. She's not going to say, hey, the baths, that didn't happen. Hey, the chemical burn, that didn't happen. Like a normal, innocent person should. No, it's, well, there's things that I didn't write about in my book. In my book, in my wings, I can't fly. But if I could fly, I'd fly to the Vatican. What secrets do they have? Oh my God, maybe I'll carry my 4 and 5-year-old on my back. And then, like, God. I just need to take a breath and woosah for a second. Because this is so frustrating dealing with this woman. And I don't even really have to deal with her in real life. I just have to talk about her on YouTube. So I can't imagine what it would be like being a husband or a boyfriend or anyone that has to actually deal with this psycho in person. But yeah, I mean, it's sad to see all of these allegations coming forward. They're not surprising. And Britney's not combating the allegations at all. She's just going on Instagram and proving that she is crazy. If anyone was undecided and they go to her Instagram and start reading her posts, maybe that will help them make up their mind. Maybe that will help them, will help convince them that Kevin Federline is not lying. But yeah, her tactic is to blame brain damage, because at some point she got brain damage. So that's what she's going with. That's what she's riding with for now, folks. Maybe by later this afternoon she'll have a different excuse, probably. But for now, I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.